Welcome to the Atomic Follow-Up Society. Welcome to the Atomic Follow-Up Society. Welcome to the Atomic Follow-Up Society. It's a very twisted tale. Very twisted tale. Welcome to the Atomic Follow-Up Society.
All right, we're on.
All right, we're on.
Take us away, fearless leader.
This isn't my bedroom.
Yeah, scary as it sounds, this is not
my
Atomic
usual.
Fallout
this is not
HQ.
the usual Atomic Fallout recording studio. You know, like actually David has clothes on.
Yes, shockingly, I feel quite uncomfortable.
So, but anyway, welcome to this is episode number 43.
And a special number 43 because we are here at Samurai Comics, along with our new buddy and addition to the Atomic Fallout Society, Brian.
And our special guest,
special
guest, Mr. Alan Moore.
Give us a applause for
Mr. Alan Moore.
Yeah!
Flew all the way out from England and he found out that we were going to be talking about him and Watchmen and Before Watchmen, and he promised that he would keep his anger and rage to a minimum. But before we get to Alan Moore,
when you guys said I would be put up in a hotel, I didn't think you meant the fucking shack behind your house.
Yeah, sorry about the accommodations and everything.
Yeah, thanks for knowing.
now,
It's like
we need to go to something more important than you, and that's the reviews for this week.
All right,
and
to start things off, yeah.
Well, basically, you know, like it's a new comic book day. You know, usually we record this show on a Sunday, which means we've had like days to prepare.
We only had
hours.
Because today is New Comic Book Day, and you know, actually, from just actually here at Samurai Comics, there is actually a really good multiverse.
Multiverse.
There's a really good selection this week. A couple surprises I didn't even know that came out. But to start things off, you want to take it away?
No, let's go ahead. You take it away.
Well, after last week, a lot of people a couple of friends emailed me, and a couple of people said that they were surprised with my amount of rage and hate for Marvel Comics.
Hold up the comic book because we are actually recording.
Today we're actually going to be covering Marvel. I am covering the Amazing Spider-Man issue number 688. Just to show that I don't truly hate Marvel with a passion.
Wait, hold on. You said your friends emailed you?
Yeah, friends and actually a couple people
Well,
emailed me.
I don't know.
I know, right?
Yeah, I don't know if you've been listening to last week's episode. If you have,
I did.
thank you very much. I mean,
I was the other one that listened to
the
it.
other one?
Yeah, you were the other one that apparently David.
Well, he has to listen to it now because he's part of the group.
It's true.
Well, I'm trying to fill everyone in because I'm probably pretty sure that no one else has probably heard the episode from last week.
True.
Yeah. So, but basically, my brother went on rage. Basically, he's probably the only person on the planet that didn't like Avengers vs. X-Men.
Actually, I want to ask these two. Do you guys like where Avengers vs. X-Men is going right now?
I'll let Alan take that question as I haven't read it.
See?
In general, you guys.
So we have
pretty common
anger
knowledge.
and indifference.
No, it's not really indifference. It's pretty common knowledge that I despise Marvel Comics.
Oh, thank you.
Everyone's related, and that's weird. They're all related. It's convoluted as hell. You don't know the backstory on anybody, really. It's all shrouded in mystery, or they've retconned so much stuff you don't know what's real and what's not. And DC's exactly the same way. But Alan, go ahead and I'll let you take this one. Sorry, bud. You're fucking terrifying. You know that, right?
I got your
But it shows that you can read. To be honest, I haven't even read it. I've grown kind of tired of seeing how comic book companies have just kind of taken their characters and just made it more marketable and just kind of, said shit all to a story and just kind of
Can anyone interpret what he just said?
No, it was actually
British accent.
it was pretty straightforward. He said
It up, fuzzball.
it was pretty straightforward, man. He said I believe it translates in American from British to fuck Marvel and fuck DC and fuck the marketing department.
Fuck it all.
That's the essential bit of it.
Right, that's the essential
If you want to pay pounds for the American audience.
Well, you have to spoon feed them everything.
I understand that.
Well, you got to remember, Alan loves talking, so he wants to
So I guess-
explain it in detail.
So today I'll just be the translator then. All right.
But anyway, let's just get on to.
we'll get on to more Alan Moore in a bit.
Talk about the issue, please.
But just to quickly say, I don't totally hate Marvel. As I said, one of my favorite characters is Spider-Man. I actually like Dan Slott's run of Spider-Man. I'm a big fan. I think ever since the infamous retcon of Brand New Day and ever since then, at least Dan Slott's actually made it readable now and made it interesting. And the fact of the matter is, this is coming off
Love the slots.
pretty much.
Everyone loves
That's a
slots.
good one. Everyone loves slots.
Everyone.
But this is coming off a really good run of Spider-Man storyline called At World's End. I believe that's what it's called.
Well, you're the
And-
Spider-Man expert.
Yeah, basically it capped off with the ultimate defeat of Spider-Man's main enemy, Dr. Octopus. And we're going on to a new one, a new storyline, No Turning Back, which is going to focus more on the Lizard and Morbius, which is actually pretty interesting because, like, the Spider-Man movie is coming out, and of course everyone should know by now that the Spider-Man movie, quick
Quick poll. Anybody excited about the new Spider-Man movie next week?
Tobey Maguire forever.
Really? Hold on.
Just kidding.
All right.
All right.
No, I mean, honestly, dude, I've seen the trailers, whatnot, and it looks interesting to say the
Yeah.
least. I thought it was an interesting choice for what they went with the villain.
I think it's pretty coincidental that the villain for this week happens to be the villain in the movie.
You like how he says
I believe actually Alan set us up for that with the whole marketing department thing. Am I correct here, Mr. Moore? Okay. Thanks.
Thanks.
Please stop staring at me. You're freaking me out.
Well, okay. Well, quickly tell us exactly what you thought about this.
But I really do like I do like the start of this storyline. It focuses more on the Lizard and Michael Morbius, and let's just say in the very end, because my brother doesn't like spoilers in the show, we have a major turning point for the character of the Lizard, and it looks to be really cool. I mean, the character of the Lizard in Spider-Man Mythos has been really cool, especially since the last couple stories that they've done with him have been super dark. Just to give an idea, one of the big turning points of the Lizard a couple years ago was the fact that he ate his own son, which was a kid, and he kills his own son. And it was like a big thing for a little while, and it was supposed to show that the Lizard was more of a beast and more of an animal now, and Dr. Connors was gone forever.
But I mean, isn't that okay in America? I mean, since this is a Christian country, isn't it? That it's proverbial in the Bible that
It's okay to eat children?
No,
We
that
love
you don't
eating
kill your own
children.
son. I mean, Abraham was told to kill his son. To top the mountain. So I mean, shouldn't Americans just be okay with that? I don't see how that's such a big deal.
You want to take that? You're the interpreter.
All right. Alan asked if, being a Christian country, if we're just all desensitized to the killing of your own son thanks to the Bible, right? And I'm actually a little bit inclined to agree with the crazy shit spewing from his mouth on this one.
Wait, what the hell did we just get? Killing other sons and religion
Well,
right
no,
now?
because in the storyline, I think like maybe 5 years ago, they actually did a really cool dark storyline for the Lizard to kind of basically move the character along development-wise.
Good. I'm glad that you're coming back to the comic book. Let's like.
And basically it ends really dark with Dr. Connors eating his son Billy, and we actually get to see a child die in a comic book, which is very taboo.
I don't know, dude.
Brian
Frost
Graham.
has been doing it for years.
No, that is true. That is
Yeah.
true. But overall, I definitely just because we gotta keep the review short, I definitely think that Amazing Spider-Man is worth a pickup.
American Spider-Man?
American Spider-Man,
American-
Captain America.
Yeah, there's only the real Spider-Man's an American.
But as a side note, there was a lot of great comics that came out. A bit of a surprise that I didn't know about was the fact that Hit Girl #1 came out. But then again,
Wait, what do you mean it's a surprise, dude? Are you kidding me?
it is a surprise.
You have a Twitter account, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and you don't follow Mark Millar or Millar World or any of that?
Why? Because I'm going to be waiting like 6 months.
Well, dude, that guy's been pushing the shit out of this book over the last 3
I understand
weeks,
that.
like you wouldn't believe.
I understand that, but how long is #2 going to come out?
Oh, it'll be at least another 4 or 5 months, dude.
See,
He writes about as quickly as Mr.
I
Morrow.
wonder when Brian's coming out.
Ouch, dude.
someone attacked you!
Wow.
Someone attacked you!
Brandon James, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Brandon James in the audience. Brandon James, well-renowned local artist.
And where have you...
What's funny is that it's funny to see a troglodyte come out of his cave to finally try and be part of humanity. I mean, I've always wondered what it'd be like to walk into a zoo and shave an ape, and I'm looking at it right now. And, I think at that point I would have put the clippers down and put him back in the cage because, Christ, this thing's fucking ugly.
Are you done?
Thank you, Alan.
Are you done?
But yeah, go right ahead with your review. Are you
Okay.
ready to scream multiverse?
I'm ready.
Okay.
All right. Well, the comic book that I'm going to be reviewing this week, I was a little bit torn. I mean, Hit Girl was a title that, I was sort of leaning towards it, but there were
Quite
other
honestly-
titles. I mean, Justice League came out, and
Quite honestly, just to actually, one quick thing on Hit Girl, it didn't really impress me. Plain and simple, it's not worth a review right now because it's really, he's not really going anywhere with it right now.
Well, you're
It's not
still-
going to be till about like 2 or 3 that we actually get a feel of what the story is.
thank you very much for stealing my thunder.
Always.
All right. Well, I've decided to review the Manhattan Project.
Multiverse!
Multiverse.
Jonathan Hickman and Nick Pitara on art for this one. And I'll admit, I like these alternate universe type stories. And
Yes,
this one
I
is
agree.
no exception.
Multiverse!
This one is no exception because the key figure in this issue happens to be the one and only Albert Einstein. Or as he is known in here, Albert Einstein. Was that his actual real name? Albert?
Shit, I don't know. What the fuck you look at me, dude?
Thank you very much. Albert Einstein. right?
Actually, if we wanted to ask about detail, we would ask Alan too. If that's
But anyway, this poses the question, there was maybe some universe somewhere. There's a very dark, very bad Albert Einstein, and maybe he's responsible for the theory of relativity here on our planet and all that. So
Well, you know what the Rose Bridge is, right? It's the Einstein-Rosencrantz Bridge,
yeah,
right? And that's the time travel bridge that they always talk about.
Exactly.
And essentially what Manhattan Project's #4 is talking about is that bridge and how through that bridge, the evil Einstein of the other universe, much like in the universe of Fringe, the television show, Einstein can come over and replace.
yes, exactly.
The
It's
current
a-
Einstein.
that was the first thing that I thought about when I started reading the Manhattan
Which
Project.
was the
exactly
bridge or Fringe?
Fringe.
Yeah.
I was thinking Fringe. Fringe is an awesome show.
Oh, sorry. My fault.
It's an awesome show,
It
and
is.
this is an
It
awesome book.
It also has
I'm
its own
really
comic
loving
book.
this.
Yeah, I mean, like Manhattan Projects, it's been getting really solid reviews. I mean, even the man that is Alan Moore right now has stated that on multiple occasions on other shows.
Yeah,
that, the Manhattan Project. Is
I've
actually
always
a
thought of
very solid
Albert
title.
Einstein as a nice, friendly old man.
Who's that?
After reading this, Albert Einstein, like he's
Dude, you're Asian. You know who Albert Einstein is.
He's a
You're in math and science and
he's a
shit.
mean person. It seems like he's a very mean person in this one. So I think it's really interesting, and
Yes.
I almost want to say that Albert Einstein might be the bad guy.
No, the bad guy is Oppenheimer.
Yeah, but still.
Well,
I mean,
would you say it's Oppenheimer?
He ate his own cells.
So it means to an end.
It's so boring.
I think they're taking a cue from you here, but
Here's the thing.
Catchphrase of the show.
Yeah.
I
So
took a
boring.
hint from, I think the guy you're talking about was Greg from the other show.
Yeah. Gregory Holmes.
oh, Gregory Holmes. Yeah.
So he told me to read this book.
And what did you think? What did you think, Mr. Moore?
I've been really liking it. It's been a great deal to see a good book come out in American comics for a long time, and
You know, I can't wait for the movie version to come out.
fuck off.
Wow, you were holding that in that chamber, weren't you?
I was waiting for it. I loved it. Hey, I pissed off Alan Moore. All right. But anyway,
That's the reason why comic books are shite. Is because you have to make movies out of every one of them.
shite.
Shit.
That's a real word.
Shite. Really? Yeah, shite is a
That's
real
what it is.
word.
It's shite. It's all shite.
That's okay. It's an English thing. Anyway, this is my pick for the week, Manhattan Project by Jonathan Hickman. You know, I had the opportunity to actually meet Jonathan Hickman through Atomic Comics, which is cool. So, but Manhattan Project is my pick for the week. See, that's how pros do it.
That's how really, really,
That's what I-
really.
that's what I-
Okay.
Well, see, we can't.
Let me
do
hold on to
anything.
my fucking dream, damn it!
We can't say anything right now because he's actually coherent. Remember, this is our second
Oh,
time.
that's right. See, the first time, for those of you who were there, or who listened to it.
Aren't we supposed to be moving on to like the Watchmen?
Hold on. We're gonna tell a story here. We're gonna tell a story here.
You have 2 minutes.
Okay, fine. It'll only take me 3. So, at Phoenix Comic Con, Sunday night, after 4 straight days of no sleep, Tony and David decided it would be a good idea to record the podcast and have
I
me.
thought it'd be a good idea.
I thought it was a great idea, actually. And that made me the first official guest for the Atomic Fallout Society podcast. Yeah, dude, I'm kind of a big deal. And,
So he thinks.
yeah, you know, whatever, multiverse. shut up.
Multiverse.
Dave didn't have a whole lot to say. I think he fell asleep about halfway through.
No, I think it was Tony.
Oh, that's right, it was Tony. Tony fell asleep about halfway through. That's right, because you took over on the
drops.
On the drops.
1 minute.
1 minute.
We have to move on to our big segment.
Our big segment.
That is true. I mean, after all, we got a big
we
guest.
do have a big guest here. So without
But anyway,
further
and sum it up, you know,
He's
like
joking.
I don't even remember recording at the Phoenix Comic Con.
which is probably a good
Fucking over
thing.
that
Right?
fucking banana, please. Jesus Christ. Just sit over here making fucking facial gestures.
But just to actually help my brother move along, but one of the big reasons why we're doing this special show here at Samurai Comics in Mesa, Arizona, is because the final, I guess you could say the final number 1 till like the next set comes out for Before Watchmen came out today.
No. You still have Rorschach and Ozymandias.
Ozymandias.
Both of those still have to come out.
And that-
They've dropped 4 so far.
Yeah.
We've got 2 more to go.
And today they dropped Night Owl.
Yes, Night Owl came out today. Night Owl did come out today.
Now,
Okay, well, in all seriousness, we're already 4 issues into this Before Watchmen run. And I know there's been a lot of hype, and before we get to Mr. Alan Moore, I want to see exactly, before this series started coming out, what your thoughts were about DC saying, hey, we're going to do miniseries based on each of the Watchmen characters.
well, actually, earlier me and Brian almost got into it because just to start things off, me personally, I'm not really impressed with the last couple issues.
No. That's not the question that Tony asked you.
I want to
Tony
know,
wants to know what we thought before the issues came out.
Before Yeah, the issues
When
came
we
out,
first heard what was going to happen.
because
Okay.
I know that Mr. Alan Moore has his own opinion on what he thought about the Watchmen series this Before Watchmen deal
We'll
coming
get
out.
there when it's his
I
turn.
was actually.
But before we get to Mr. Moore, I want to know what because that was your homework assignment.
That was our homework
Homework
assignment. Yeah.
But I honestly, before Watchmen was announced, I was really kind of hyped for it.
Really?
I was looking for something. Maybe they're going to explain some of the points in the story.
Make sure no sharp objects around.
Yeah.
Mr. Moore, please.
No, it's all right. He's just got a cigarette and a DVD.
He'll just
So-
burn it into my eye socket.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's not lit, so you're okay.
Don't
I've got the
forget,
lighter in my
he
pocket.
spits venom, so
That's
you gotta
very
you gotta
vitriolic.
Yeah, but
Big
honestly, after the first couple of issues, it really hasn't met the
Expectations. that you set?
expectations.
Okay. Okay. Well, and I can see what you're saying with the you flesh out the characters, flesh them out, make them more or whatnot. But Before Watchmen's one of those, or Watchmen itself was one of those things that it's a seminal volume in
Yeah.
any collectors or even comic readers kind of in any collector's like library, and it's one of those comics that you read and you reread and you read it over and over again because it's just that damn good. It's been on the bestseller list how many different times, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It was on the bestseller
Watchmen
list
is
forever.
like considered probably the greatest.
Well, here's the thing with
graphic
Watchmen.
novel.
It's actually the only graphic novel that is on the what is it? The top 100 greatest works of American literature.
Yes.
Read it, you stupid bitch. Just read it.
You know, so I think
In case anyone's
It's
not
almost-
watching, some of our audience members are actually
I believe he
reading
picked up. What did
Alan
he pick
Moore.
up? Alan Moore, DC Universe of Alan
Alan
Moore.
Moore.
The DC Universe, according to Alan Moore.
Yeah. But with Watchmen, dude, it's almost been like sacrilegious to talk bad about it or to touch it. It's one of those titles that you just don't touch. You leave it be. You let the story go, and it is what it is.
That didn't stop them from making a movie.
It didn't stop him from making a movie, and I think that was kind of the beginning of the end.
The beginning of the
It
end.
was the beginning of the end because if they hadn't made the movie, the Before Watchmen thing wouldn't be coming.
Well, you know, the funny part is, when the movie came out, that's when I actually said they're gonna do something special with the Watchmen. As soon as they came out with the movie, I already knew that they were gonna do it.
Well, and I think
So-
honestly, the movie. I know Alan will disagree with me here, but the movie wasn't horrible. Wow. The movie wasn't horrible, and I just think Warner Brothers did an absolutely awful job of marketing the movie.
Yeah.
I think that's what a lot of the backlash for the movie, aside from Alan's crazy ravings,
I think
or,
part of it was because the audience that they were trying to market it to had no idea what they were looking
well, no, that's
at.
what I'm saying. They marketed it as like a big budget blockbuster superhero movie in the vein of Iron Man, or
Avengers even.
well, not quite Avengers because that hadn't come out yet, but you had like Iron Man and then some of the other Marvel movies that had come out, or The Dark Knight, and that's not what it is. It's a piece that's
It's a standalone piece.
well, it's not only a standalone piece, but it's very much
It's deeper. It's much deeper.
It's a social commentary.
Yeah.
Especially for the times. And having to update it for our times takes away some of what was going on in the 80s when the book was written.
Don't worry, he's not going to stab.
I'm really scared right now.
Why do you
guys.
think I'm sitting here?
I know, I'm very jealous of you right now. I'm just terrified that he's going to burn me. Wouldn't you be? Look at him. Like he's looking at me like he wants to fucking strangle me.
Well, I mean, that's been the main problem with, unfortunately, when they actually, one of the biggest sins they did with Alan's work was the fact that they had to modernize it for us. They did it for V for Vendetta,
Yeah.
and that ruined it.
Yes.
And then they did it to the Watchmen.
Yeah, definitely. And I think my roommate and I actually were talking about this the other night about the marketing departments, the difference between like Marvel and DC or Warner Brothers, because that's who markets all
Yeah.
the DC stuff. Like Marvel, Disney, whatever, whoever's doing it, they do a great job at marketing their superhero movies for the superhero audience. Whereas
You dropped your cigarette, Mr. Moore.
whereas DC doesn't do half as well. You know what I mean? And it's definitely detrimental to the audience. It hurts the audience. It hurts the reviews. It hurts everything about the movie. Now Watchmen still did a crap ton of money, which is why we're seeing Before Watchmen, this comic book series. Which, like you said, you had high expectations for it. I honestly didn't. I expected it to be mediocre at best, even with the lineup of talent that.
Well, here's my thought. To me, Watchmen is like one of the most important books for me personally. It is definitely been a big influence for me to read. I've read it since high school.
You want to just suck him off now, or are we going to wait till after the show?
You basically that's going to be your.
No, dude,
You're going to have to get through the smell. But anyway, all I could say that I did not have high expectations for this. I really thought this was DC Comics' attempt to get more money.
To cash in.
Right,
which is
before Watchmen become irrelevant to the casual fan.
Let's be honest here. No offense, Alan, but they already are irrelevant to the casual fan.
Yeah.
The only people that threw up a pitch about this are the ones that were super hardcore
fans.
Watchmen fans. They hated the fucking movie anyway.
No, but along with that point, the talent that they've basically lined up to do something.
Oh, it's impressive, dude. But honestly, if you can get that talent, put them on your new 52.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
That was my stance.
You want Azzarello, you want Cook, you want Amanda Connor, you want
Darwin Cook. I mean, just that.
Yeah, that's right. Straczynski. Who else do they have on these fucking butts? Let's see. Adam Hughes. Oh, the Kubert brothers.
You mean Kubert, father-son.
Father-son, sorry. Bermejo and Jones. That's an amazing lineup of talent.
So it's
Jay Lee.
It's an attempt. It's pretty much a sorry attempt by DC Comics to capitalize, but still, they assembled some pretty good talent.
But they had to. They had to assemble a talent that good.
Oh yeah, if they would have thrown any sort of writer onto this,
Joe Schmo on that thing, all hell would have broken loose. And the fans
and Alan Moore would have
shit themselves.
Alan Moore would have basically killed people around him.
Well, I think Alan Moore would kill people around him if he wasn't in England, and I think we may have made a giant mistake
by inviting him to the States.
Well, we know what Brian and I say. What do you say?
He already said what he says. He was excited.
I was excited. Well, here's the thing.
No, I don't like
listen to your brother. Listen.
Multiverse. But anyways, the reason, just like what I said, by the time the movie came out, I was already expecting them to do something more with Watchmen.
Of course.
I was like going, okay, what are they going to do? A prequel to Watchmen? Are they going to do? I guarantee
you can't sequel it.
No, I guarantee you.
They're going to figure out a way.
They're going to find a way.
Yeah, it's because they took out the octopi.
Yeah, they'll find a way to actually do after the Watchmen.
God, that's going to be sad. What's going to be a bunch of regular? Oh wait, we have after Watchmen, right? Isn't that Hit Girl? Oh wait, no. Sorry.
No.
Okay.
So, careful.
In a world with no superheroes,
well,
one man stands between.
I think we need to get the opinion of the creator. I think we need to get the opinion of the person that has been behind all this.
So, Mr. Moore,
without further ado, begin.
Leave the table.
This is your forum. Say what you love to say.
I mean, when I originally wrote Watchmen, it was basically set at the height of the Cold War, and that's what the book is set around, is the war. It's during that time, and I wrote that as a finite piece. It was world contained, and the thing that I don't. Oh, sunshine. Keep reading. Shut up.
I think we're losing you.
It's what gets me is that Americans can't do without a bit of mystery. That they have to know the backstories of the characters. They can't just use the imagination, which is why I think this country is going downhill as far as education goes. But it was. I personally haven't read any of these yet, and I don't plan on it. Because, again, it's just another ploy to make more money for something that I put myself into, and essentially it's basically breaking my balls. So,
could someone interpret what just said?
Alan no like.
Okay, dude, really? You're gonna make him a fucking gorilla now? Come on, bro. At least treat him with a little bit of respect. A modicum of respect.
Okay.
No, okay, guys. Here's the deal.
Smells like one.
Oh, come on, man. Get off it. I'm the one sitting next to him. Shit. Alan says that the problem isn't necessarily DC Comics. It's more the American reader. The fact that we don't use our own imagination. We do have to be spoon-fed every piece of information about everything that we read, or any news story, or any movie. There's no mystery, there's no intrigue, there's no, fill in the blank kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You look at any movie over the last, 10, 15 years, and if there's a twist, they tell you what it is before the movie ends. If there's a cliffhanger ending, people hate it. They don't like it because they don't know what happened, and that's, as he put it, why the American education system is going down the shitter, because there is no benefit to having an imagination. It's cookie cutter children doing cookie cutter things, getting spoon-fed information.
Yeah.
Not to get all political, but we do have Alan Moore here, so we all know that that's what's going to happen. And I mean that in the best light possible.
So you don't burn him with the cigarette.
He's getting really fucking close to me here, guys. But
is that patchouli?
It's not patchouli, sir. I believe he just farted. I'm sorry. You know what? That's so rude. I just kind of proved the point. Jesus! I just proved the point, guys. Americans are all about fart jokes and no imagination.
No imagination.
That is patchouli.
But that is a very very good point, because why is it that basically a lot of comic book fans, you always hear comic book fans say, oh, we want something different,
No, they don't.
But we constantly read that we do, but then all of a sudden they turn around and say, oh, they changed something, and then they bellyache about it.
Well, it's not that we want something different, we want something new. Not necessarily different. I think that's why stuff like Manhattan Projects,
Yeah.
it's critically acclaimed, it's selling decently, because it's something different. It's something new and different.
Do you like Manhattan Project?
I do, but the thing is that the point about new books like that, if it doesn't have a guy in a tight suit or a pair of tits, people are going to overlook it and actually miss.
Boobies.
You're going to miss something that's actually worth reading instead of picking up the same old regurgitated crap that comes out every year from DC and Marvel.
No, that is an excellent point.
I think he's absolutely right there. I think, you look at stuff like Superior, which sold well, and it was a dude in tights, right? You look at something like Hit Girl or
and another
Kick-Ass 2,
Nemesis.
Nemesis, once again, Nemesis is it's Batman as a villain. That's all it is, dude. It's
I've been reading Super Crooks.
Same thing. It's the Justice League as villains.
It's like Ocean's 11 in costume.
As villains.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I totally get that, dude. It's not new. It's a little different, but it's not new.
Another good title out there is American Vampire.
American Vampire is a great title, but that's also just DC kind of capitalizing
on vampires.
On the vampire craze right now.
But thank God it's not Twilight.
Wow, you just made Brian's brain just... I saw that throb in his head. Hold
on.
Should be.
No, I'm gonna say something I wouldn't normally tell people, but I've read all of the Twilight books more than once.
Okay.
I like the books.
Nothing wrong with books.
I like the books. A, go fuck yourself, and B, the movies are shit. The movies are absolute shit. But the books were decent, and actually, the other books she wrote, The Host, which has a movie coming out, was much better than the Twilight series.
You gotta remember, he's in charge of the drops now. But I
get that he's in charge of the drops, man. But I'm feeling disrespected today, bro.
No, I definitely
just keeping it level, just keeping it cool.
Now, basically talking outside of comics now, literature. I definitely agree with you. I I mean, the books are okay.
So you read them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I love reading books.
Tony,
But
did
as
you read
a-
them?
No, I did
Then
not.
your opinion is completely fucking invalid. And do you know why? do you know why your opinion's invalid? Because fuck you, that's why.
But I definitely say that Twilight in general. Unfortunately, it's different, but also there are points when it's like downright dumb.
Oh, no, dude, trust me, I'll completely agree with you on that. That book is base as shit. And it's
Yeah.
like Stephen King said, Harry Potter is about overcoming all obstacles and having a great
yeah.
group of friends to help you along your way. Whereas Twilight is about how important it is to have a boyfriend.
That glitters.
Okay,
Oh no, have a boyfriend.
wait, hold on.
Have
Tony,
a muscular
Tony,
boyfriend
Tony,
fight for you.
tell me that you wouldn't fuck a chick that glitters.
I'd get myself tested.
Yeah, because she's a
Yes,
stripper.
yeah,
That's
see?
true. Oh, but wait, at the same time, hold on. Tony, tell me you wouldn't fuck a guy that glitters.
I would never find myself in that situation. If
That was
I
good.
did,
Oh, wait, no,
If
Tony,
I
you
did,
don't
I would
remember
find out-
Saturday night at the con, do you?
if I did, I'd end up looking like him.
Mr. Moore, do you fuck men that glitter?
Well, there is a lot.
We're gonna
of
take that as a no.
We never know. I mean, like,
You're getting stabbed, bro.
He's got to get through you first.
but so,
I will happily get out of his way.
So overall, you're happy. You're okay with the Before Watchmen so far.
I'm okay with it. I think that the talent that they got for it redeemed it in a sense, and that they've done a fairly decent job in each issue.
Well, let me put you on the spot. We've got 4 titles out there right now.
Uh huh.
I'm a Watchmen fan.
Okay.
Which title? I don't know which title to pick. If I had to pick only one, which title is probably the strongest right now?
That's like asking which issue of Watchmen was the strongest.
yeah.
I mean, come on. I mean, there's like
No. I mean, seriously, which issue was the best for you? 1 through 12. Which issue of the regular Watchmen series? Which issue was the best? 1 through 12. You can't look at them as a piece because they're a part of a whole.
No, but I'm like saying.
Oh, I know what you're asking me, but it's an impossible question to answer. Because here's the thing: each one of those titles are all going to have to come together, or else the entire series is bullshit. All 6 issues have to have a purpose that ends at the same point.
And that's what I mean. I mean, we've
I
already
don't
read.
know.
We've already read, like.
I mean, I'll tell you
4
right now. I'll
issues.
tell you right now. Which the titles up here, that the one that's my favorite so far, is Comedian.
Really?
Are you serious?
I thought that was the weakest of the 4.
I don't know. I sort of like the Comedian.
But just like what you said, though, the main problem I'm having is, okay, I thought Minutemen was okay. I really liked it.
It was all right.
Silk Spectre, why?
No. I know that that's how
you.
you feel about that. With the Silk Spectre, dude, I dig that. I dig where they're going with that. Because if you remember in the Watchmen books, she had already reconnected with her mother. We never knew that there was a disconnect there.
But you kind of get a sense there was because
You get a sense of it, but now they're just fleshing that out.
We're
See,
actually-
with
well, Brian's
Minutemen to me, it felt like the first issue of JLN in the New 52.
Yeah.
It felt where you've got one person who's pushing for the whole thing to happen, and then everybody else kind of joins in.
Joins in.
I honestly feel that way, and that's the same way I felt about what's the one that came out?
Night Owl.
Night Owl.
Night Owl.
Night Owl felt exactly the same to me when they were trying to get the.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think that.
The one character to actually take the mantle of Night Owl.
Yeah.
And basically when I read it today, I'm like going, this is all this is just basically a battle.
Don't get me wrong.
We knew that the Night Owl story because of Watchmen.
Yeah.
We already knew that story,
Exactly.
so they didn't retell anything at all. We knew about the comedian coming into that meeting and fucking shit up. That was all in Watchmen. We knew all of that happened. So essentially, Night Owl right now is the original Watchmen. There's
Yeah.
nothing new in there.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it's the greatest. I'm like saying for me personally, and also probably because I'm a big Azzarello fan.
Well, of course you are.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed the Comedian a lot more than I did the other titles so far.
Well, and I can understand you enjoy his writing style more. Now, I can tell you this, that I thought all 4 of them did a fairly good job of being knockoffs of Alan Moore.
Yeah.
They did. I thought that they were
Watch your words.
fairly true to the way that you write. They were very close to that. It wasn't a huge difference between any of the 4 books when it came to tone, or pacing, or description. And it was very much, you have your narrator, just like you did with the Watchmen stuff. You have the narrator kind of telling the story, but you still have the dialogue as well.
Yeah.
And I thought they did a very good job of mixing it up between narration and dialogue, just like in the original.
I think my
Watchmen.
last question to you two then, because you guys did the homework and this was going to be the main focus, was now that you've read 4 of the Before Watchmen titles, has your opinion changed from when this first started getting announced by DC?
I'm not as hyped about it as I am anymore. I mean, I was gonna say this was gonna be part of my pull, no matter what. But now, if I miss an issue, I'm not gonna like die over it, you know? Because like just like what you said, I mean, the one thing that is just gnawing at my head is like, okay, we've gone through 4 issues. What's the point? Where are we going?
Right, are we going to just where Watchmen starts?
Yeah.
Is that where we're going? Because if that's where we're going, okay. I mean, I guess, I don't know. I'd like to see something mind-blowingly amazing. Otherwise, what's the fucking point of doing this aside from making a buck?
And the thing that irritates me even more is when you read the Crimson Corsair.
I haven't read any of that.
And I've been reading, I'm like going, this makes no fucking sense.
I'm not
Where are
reading
you going?
I'm not reading that because I'm not going to read that until it's done. I can't. It doesn't make any sense if you read 3 pages at a time. No comic book makes sense if you read 3 pages at a time.
Well, I got a feeling, I sort of have this strong inclination of what our special guest might think after seeing these 4 titles. And you know, like, I'm curious to see whether or not your opinion may have changed, or do you think that there's at least some sort of justice being done to the title?
Tell more.
Well, again, it's saying that I'll reiterate, I haven't read any of them. I don't plan on it. Hearing what you two jackasses have said the entire night, it sounds like that every writer and team on these books is treading on hard ground, which was my original work, and that they don't want to soil or sully what I did. So it's a bit of respect, but I don't think my opinion will change on this, because again, what I wrote was a finite thing. It wasn't meant to be going back and redone to market and make more money.
What?
I'm sorry, Mr. Moore.
Okay, no, here it is.
You're
Here it is.
dealing with an American audience. I'm sorry.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna try to translate this again. Okay. You and I are jackasses.
Yes.
Okay. What he wrote was like the Bible and incredibly hollowed ground. They're treading on hollowed ground. They're treating it with a sense of reverence through what we said, but not enough for him, because it never should have been touched, because it was a finite book.
Well,
Yeah? You're not going to burn me again right now? Okay, good. I got it. We're good.
All right, that's good.
Okay, so
Well, is there any lasting points, or maybe some?
well, actually, one
points?
lasting point that I want to come across. Maybe.
we have to go into that now.
Yes, we do.
I have one more thing to say about
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, just to kind of cap off the Watchmen thing, I think this Before Watchmen debacle at this point, because I think anybody would agree with me on that. I mean, you can look at the shelf back here and see how many issues are still left standing.
Yeah.
I don't know how well it's selling. I haven't heard any sales numbers from it. I don't think it's selling as well as DC wanted it to.
I don't think so either.
Although I don't know if any book ever sells as well as they want it to. But I think that this is something that after 4 of the #1 issues coming out, I don't think we can really judge it yet. Either you're for it or you're against it to begin with. And if you're against it, give it a shot. If you're for it, give it a shot. See what comes out of it. You know, if you have a reverence for the characters, read the books. If you don't like them, don't treat it as canon because it wasn't written by Moore. It's kind of like the Dune series. I've read this Dune series. I don't read anything by his son. His son's a fucking moron. And I feel the same way. I'm afraid I'm going to feel the same way about these books, in that after reading them, I'm going to be like, what the fuck did you guys do here? Like, what was the point of this?
Well,
And
you're
I'm
always gonna
hoping
get
it doesn't
that.
go well, no, I hope it doesn't go that way. I'm really hoping at this point that they have a point, that it is going to be something mind-blowing that changes the face of the Watchmen universe. Because let's be honest here, the Watchmen is its own universe. And in writing pre-stories to what we read when in '85, granted not for me, I was 3, but when I read it, it was one of those graphic novel. I read it in the graphic novel form, so I got the whole story right away, and absolutely loved it. And are we still recording? Because the timer stopped.
No, that's still recording.
Okay. Sorry. Anyway, what were you going to say? Leading into more about Alan Moore.
Well, actually, the one thing,
this time.
the one thing that I want to also talk about is not just about Watchmen, but this is actually a really important time, not just for the series, but also for the man himself.
Well, and that's important. I think that some people who may not be familiar with his work think that it's just the Watchmen. I mean,
Yeah.
Alan Moore has done more with the Watchmen. I think last week I told you that he's the guy behind the Blackest Night. Actually, if you
Right. I guess that's what I've been told.
yeah,
Well, no,
because
as
apparently
the story
apparently
goes-
I apologize because apparently Jeff Johns might have stolen that idea from you.
Do you want him to get angry?
Well, Brian and you were there, so that's fine. As soon as he rips you guys, I'm out the door.
Well, essentially, the story that we've all heard is that there was a short story
That Alan
submitted
Moore-
by Alan Moore that Jeff Johns got a hold of, and it did talk about
The Blackest
the
Night.
Blackest Night and the prophecy and all of that, and that when Blackest Night came out, Mr. Moore was a little upset that I'm choosing my words very carefully here. He was a little upset that he wasn't given any credit.
Not even a mention.
That's what I'm saying. Not even a mention.
I think the way that I read it was that Jeff Johns did not even acknowledge that there was a story.
And for those people out there, the whole story is basically Alan Moore wrote a story centered around Abin Sur, and it was supposed to be kind of like an origin story for the Green Lantern Abin Sur, and he basically tells of like a great prophecy called the Blackest Night, and talks about the superheroes coming back from the dead and the end of the world.
Yeah,
And essentially, it was supposed to be a story that would end the DC universe.
Well, basically, you could find that story. It's a trade paperback, and quite honestly, the title just like I'll probably have to post it like on Facebook or something like that. But basically, that's just another sample of Alan Moore's works. He's also done D for Vendetta, which
Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing. That's another thing. His Swamp Thing run was awesome. Really.
It made Swamp Thing relevant.
Yeah.
So, but like,
See, we're not here to bash you, Alan. We want to be your friend.
but just for the people to know, Avatar Press came out with a comic volume. I'm sure all of us have seen them. How to do comics, how to draw comics, how to write for comics. Each company has done it. Well, Avatar Press did one, and the thing was, it was done Alan Moore's Writing for Comics, Volume 1. And this was actually released a couple of years ago, but it got re-released with a new letter from Alan Moore talking about his ideas on writing and if they've changed. And
Why don't we have him explain?
would you like to explain it so I don't get burned?
Let's see if I can make this a simple answer for some simple people.
Dick.
You do realize.
Hi.
No, Mr. Moore, sorry for that rude interruption.
I apologize.
I'll use this as an example, is the difference between the touching on comic books and cinema, is that the writing for comic books, if you write for comic books and it feels like you're at the cinema, then as a writer, what I need to do is further remove them, because there are things you can't do in a movie that you can do in a comic book when writing. And there are things you can't translate from a comic book into a film. And again, going back, that's essentially what I did with the Watchmen, V for Vendetta. And my other words is that it was written for
Comics.
full pages, not for the cinema. So my opinions haven't changed much with it, if at all. And I still think there's more breadth in writing for a comic book than there is for the cinema, because you have things such as that one director, Michael Bay. He it's what every one of his movies. Are you done?
I was actually looking up the Blackest Night thing that you did. It was in Green Lantern Annual number 2 from 1986.
Hail from it.
It seems all his movies just explosions. That's what I've been told, is that Michael Bay is, I think, but
Explosions and boobs.
slow motion.
Slow motion and boobs.
Yeah.
so again, that's where I see it as far as writing for comics, you have more of a way of writing the universe and making it more intricate than you would with a cinema.
Then I heard that you're actually going to be starting to write some movies pretty soon.
Actually, some short films.
10-minute short films.
Well, see, and that's the thing, is that if you go from comics to writing for film, I think it's an easier jump than going from film to writing for comics.
Are you going to write a Watchmen sequel?
Are you deaf? Did I literally just sit here and jibber jabber the entire fucking night?
I'm
See if I
sorry.
could give
I'm
you
sorry.
a
I
breath.
just had to throw it out there. I just had to
You
throw it out.
couldn't resist. You couldn't be on.
I
you
couldn't resist.
You had to stoop down to a typical American level and just make a little fucking.
Do you think at one of these days that you'll actually look back and say, all this Watchmen stuff, it was a nice effort?
If I get punched in the dick by an orangutan, then maybe I will. But that's not going to happen, so no, I won't.
You're making this very uncomfortable.
I just want to get the honest truth. You know, like, he's not this bitter
Now
and
you're
smelly.
actually being a journalist.
I just want to know that, you know, like, when
You know,
Alan
no,
Moore-
hold on. I just want everyone out there to know that Tony's putting us all in danger.
I just
All
want,
of us. No.
I
I've
just
been
want to
burned
know
once.
from Alan Moore's mouth. What's it from?
He's been pretty fucking clear about how he feels.
Feel.
dude.
He can't
It's
be
a
holding.
holiday.
He can't be holding this much of a grudge after all these years.
This
Dude,
is the
it's
same
seeping out of
man.
his pores.
This is the same man that basically said that he would spit venom on people who saw Watchmen.
On his dying deathbed, will he at least look back and say, maybe I overreacted?
Am I on my deathbed? Am I laying here about to die? Am I? Answer me that. Answer that simple fucking question. Am I dying right now? Am I laying on a bed of death?
I just think you're overreacting a little
Did
bit.
Cody lock the door?
We're all trapped in here.
No, you're all trapped in here. Me and Chris can make it the door before you guys can escape. Yeah.
So again, you fucking little prat. Do I look like? And answer this. Don't ask me another question. Don't give me a fucking American answer. It's a simple yes or no. Do you know the words yes or no? Answer me that yes or no.
Yes.
Do I look like I'm on my deathbed right now?
You sound Australian.
I think we better sign off soon.
Hey, it's time.
We have a little bit of time.
Any last words from our panel here?
I want to thank Alan for coming out and only burning me once. I apologize for the prat, as you said, that is our showrunner who's controlling the drops tonight. I think
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
multiverse,
First.
and I think we've had some interesting.
You know that burn could clear up.
I hope. I'd really prefer not to have to tell everyone that it's not a hickey. But no, I think in The whole thing with just to wrap up, I think the reviews you guys did first were fitting. David doesn't hate the Marvel Universe as much as I do.
And Alan Moore is right.
He's right, always.
He's not
right.
always right.
He's always right. I'm sitting closest, he's always right.
I'm sitting in the middle, I can feel
I think the Before
rage.
Watchmen has potential. It has potential. I'm interested to see where it goes. They did pique my interest with it more so than I thought they would.
I think one of these days he's going to lighten up and just basically say, yeah, okay, maybe I did overreact.
Dude, and monkeys may fly out of my ass one day, but just like getting punched in the dick by an orangutan, I don't think that's going to happen.
He just needs a chill pill.
A chill pill, right. I think he's taken enough pills in his lifetime.
Exactly.
Chill pill.
And have you seen the mindscape of Alan Moore?
At last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi.
I don't know why
At last we'll have revenge.
He's going to kill us.
He's not. He's going to kill Tony. We'll be fine, Dick. We'll be fine. He took out his aggression on me already, and I haven't said anything too horribly offensive.
And I've kept my
and you've
actual,
been pretty calm.
I've been keeping my notes silent.
Yes.
Any last words? I want to say thanks to Cody.
Well, thank you to Samurai Comics.
Thanks to Samurai Comics,
for
exactly.
letting us use their building.
Thank Cody, for letting us in here, along with Justin.
I suppose we can thank Justin. We did ask him before we asked Cody, and he did say
closing and haven't kicked into you.
That's true.
That's true.
I am still contemplating letting Alan have his road call for you.
Okay.
Sexually?
Yes.
Them first.
No.
You're
Not-
straight, right? Oh, Alan's upset. Alan's walking away.
Thank God Alan's not attacking us.
No.
With that being said,
Alan has just picked up a
Can we
chair.
actually say that Alan Moore is fucking crazy?
I didn't realize Alan was that buff of a guy.
I don't know, dude. I'm kind of impressed with his chair holding abilities. Cody.
Okay,
sorry,
well-
you may want to put down the Hulk.
Let's end this show on a high note.
On a
I want
high
to
note.
say thank you to Cody, thank you to Justin, and thank you for Samurai Comics in Mesa. Again, we will be, you can find us at abnormalentertainment.blogspot.com, or you can find us at Atomic Fallout Society at blogspot.com. And, what?
Nothing, Mr.
Nothing.
Sabal. Nothing, Mr. Sabal. Nothing.
You can also find us on Stitcher Smart Radio. Just go to Stitcher Smart Radio. Enter the words Atomic Fallout, and you could actually be in running for $100.
$100 you could use at adamandeve.com, our wonderful sponsors. Brian, that way.
Yep.
And with that said, good night, everybody. Good night.
Good night. Good night.